Welcome back for another video. The international break's coming to a close, so it's time to start thinking about FPL again. It's Gameweek 12 next. Who are the best players to buy? Let's take a look at the best picks in all positions. Projection data is from FPL Review. So goalkeepers first. Now the biggest news from the break has got to be Gabriel's injury, from an FPL perspective anyway. We'll talk lots about that in a minute because so many of us have got him. And it is the North London derby next, Arsenal home to Spurs. And it does have Raya top for Gameweek 12 on 4.1 points. He's actually the second top scoring keeper despite all those clean sheets after Roofs. He's only 3 points behind him though. There's always that random 4.5 mil keeper that does well, isn't there? And it's so hard to predict them. But yeah, Raya's top of all keepers for the next 5 projections as well as this game week. If you've got him already, then you're in a really strong position because he does look like a set and forget until at least the second wildcard, whenever you use that in the second half of the season. Maybe even then on the wildcard you still keep Raya. I think Petrovic looks the best value pick right now if you're spending less in goal. Bournemouth's run is West Ham, Sunderland, Everton, Chelsea, Man United and Burnley. If you've got Mamardashvili as your budget keeper, then one thing to keep a close eye on is Alisson's return, which isn't far away now. Possibly even Gameweek 12 he'll be back next match. Slot said before the break that he expects him to be fit for the next match anyway. It's a shame that Lamens is 5 mil. He could have been a really interesting one for 4.5 mil. Since his debut, in Gameweek 7 that was, he's prevented 1.5 expected goals. XG prevented basically measures the quality of a keeper by using expected goals on target minus goals conceded. He's prevented 1.5 expected goals, which places him joint third of all keepers in the league over that run. Although goalkeeper transfers are generally quite rare because obviously the outfield players score better, so that's where we want to use our transfers. If you have got an underperforming keeper, you definitely can make the case for making that switch to Raya. Arsenal's defence has been absurdly good. Obviously you've heard this all before, but here's the latest defensive team data from Scout. Only 6.1 expected goals conceded. Next best is Man City of 10.4. And then it's Newcastle 11.4. And then it's Palace 4th with 12.7 expected goals conceded. By the way, use the link below to get 40% off Scout membership, and there's a code there to get an extra 5% off on top of that. 7 clean sheets for Arsenal, only 5 conceded in 11 games. And while Man United's attacking data has been very good, defensively it has been really poor. 16.78 XGC, ranks 4th worst in the league, even worse than Wolves amazingly. So yeah, some food for thought there for those of you maybe looking at De Ligt as a Gabriel replacement. So let's move on to defenders, and what's the latest of Gabriel? So he was forced off injured while playing for Brazil over the break, and he missed their second friendly. The Brazilian Football Confederation released the following statement. Arsenal player Gabriel was re-evaluated this Sunday and he underwent imaging tests that revealed a muscle injury in his right thigh. Therefore the player will not be travelling with the team for the match in Lille. No other player will be called up to replace him. So that's what we currently know. What we don't know is how long he's out. It could be 1 game, it could be 5. If he's going to miss a few games, then yeah, there's a really strong case for selling. And the defenders table this week has Timber top, then Van Dijk and then Munoz as the top 3. Now, it's fair to say these do look the best 3 replacements if Gabriel's out for a while. Arsenal signed some incredible reinforcements in the summer. Hincapi and Mosquera have both looked fantastic when given game time, so this injury doesn't necessarily impact the Arsenal defence much. Looking at the next 5 projections, Timber and Van Dijk are the top 2 and they're actually basically dead even, 21.4 points versus 21.3. 3 clean sheets for Liverpool this season. It seems like many have written Liverpool off, but are we being a bit too harsh on them? Obviously there is a drop off compared to last season. However, the fixtures are incredible, so it's Forest, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, Brighton, Spurs, Wolves and Leeds. They've conceded 12.35 non-penalty XG this season, which actually ranks 5th best, so that's not bad. Gabriel owners, if he is out for a while, let us know in the comments who your replacement will be. Now, Timber and Munoz are the top 2 for expected goal involvement this season. They're the really attacking ones. They're the top 2 as well for touches in the opposition's box. Munoz is undeniably a really exciting pick as well, given how attacking he is. But yeah, referring back to Bournemouth's fixture run, you could also go down to a cheaper option in Senesi, or likewise the Quas got great fixtures. That frees up a lot of money for reinforcements elsewhere. Just be mindful, like what if you wanted to go back to double Arsenal defence later when Gabriel's back? Does that become tricky if you downgrade Gabriel and spread the money around? Elsewhere in the Arsenal defence, despite leaving the Italy camp due to injury, Arsenal expect Calafiori to be available from the next match. So looking at even cheaper defenders, so 4.5 million under, Anderson's the top defender there, 18.9 points for the next 5. And then it's Richards just behind, and then it's Truffer, 16.8 for him. Keane's on 16.0. And then for even cheaper, Alderete and Mukiele both on 15.0, Rode on 14.8. So if we're ranking Gabriel replacements, to summarise it, it's Timber and Van Dijk joint first, and then it's Munoz. Now, Saliba is technically slightly ahead of Munoz for the next 5, so what about him? Well, this one I think is down to preference. Like, he is nailed, but he just lacks goal threat considerably compared to the others as well. And then for 0.1 million more, there's Timber, who just makes more sense. It's not out of the question for White to get a league game before the new year. I should caveat that as well. I would actually expect it to happen in that December schedule potentially. It's just whether Timber's attacking returns make up for that one benching. You'd expect it probably would. Midfielders next. Egypt manager Hassan has taken the decision to rest Salah in their friendly against Cape Verde. If you've got him, then you keep hold, of course, but I think buying him remains a big question mark. Whether he's worth, 14.2 million? That's 4 million more than Saka. It's over 5 million more than Bruno. If I was wildcarding, of course I'd have a play around with a Haaland and Salah draft, but realistically, Haaland plus Saka plus Bruno looks stronger. And I think there's no way you could have Haaland, Salah, Saka and Bruno without major sacrifices. Bruno's only 1.4 projected points behind Salah for the next 5 game weeks on FPL Review. Bruno even bagged a hat-trick for Portugal in their last match. Incredible performance. Semenyo has got 9 points in his last 4 games, so that's 2.25 points per game on average. A bit unlucky, of course, having a penalty saved last match, 5 margins and a 0-pointer as a result. A word of warning to Semenyo owners thinking of selling him. He does go through these patches. Last season I had him basically all season when he was 5.5 mil, and he'll go on to hit double-digit returns when you don't expect it, just when you're thinking about selling him. So I'm personally keeping hold, I'm staying patient, especially given the fixtures ahead. And Semenyo won't be going to AFCON, Ghana didn't qualify. Now Mbumo will be going, so is it too late to buy Mbumo? Definitely not too late. It's Everton home, Palace away, West Ham home, Wolves away, Bournemouth home. Plus you do get those 5 free transfers to come for all of us in Game Week 16. The same applies to Sarr, of course. He is going to AFCON, but still an option to buy this week, and he does make the table. Obviously Sarr's not in the same form as Mbumo, but the promise is there, and he is much cheaper at 6.7. Minte for 6 million also looks like a great budget option. He's created 4 big chances, second most of any mid, and he's created 17 chances overall, and he's taken 17 shots. 16 of those 17 shots in the box. Enzo's dropped off the table this week because of his flag. Now, of course, they've got Burnley next, and he did get the international break off, so assuming that he's managing his load, then he's a very easy hold for the next game, and then maybe a sell before Arsenal Game Week 13. Looking at some even cheaper mids, there's Anderson. He's the best midfielder for 5.5 million under. He's actually 5.3 mil now. He's on 18.3 points for the next 5. Dewsbury Hall for 4.9 mil, 17.0 for the next 5. Now Anderson did actually score a penalty before the break. Awani was the only striker on the pitch. Wood wasn't in the squad. Igor Jesus had come off by that point, so that might not be an ongoing thing. Who remembers how much hype Anderson had before Game Week 1? If he ends up being their genuine penalty taker, then I could see myself going there. Forwards up next then, and it's Haaland who tops the table with 5.7 points. So Salah, Saka and Bruno are all ahead of Haaland for Game Week 12, which does make captaincy quite an interesting one. Are any of you looking to go elsewhere with the armband for Game Week 12, or are you sticking with the robot? Haaland has just scored his 32nd goal of the season in all competitions, including World Cup qualifiers. Haaland's got 16 goals in 8 World Cup qualifying games. He does have Newcastle away, who do seem to be a team that have got the better of him over the years. He hasn't scored against Hull's Newcastle since 2022, 6 games ago. So it's not smoke and mirrors, like there is a case for captaining someone else. I'm looking forward to seeing what the experts data looks like on Thursday's video and what they're doing with captaincy, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on some big content coming this week. Thiago's next 5 projections look great for 6.3 million. He's on 20.3 points for the next 5, and and that places him in good company. Mateta, for example, just 2 projected points ahead. And of course, Thiago bagged that brace before the break. That makes it 8 goals in 11 starts for him. He's really enjoying himself out there right now. He had a devastating 24-25 season, if you recall. Missed the entirety of it with injury, and that ended up seeing Wissa and Mbeumo thriving. But he's done great now he's back in and their main man. Isak, Evan Nilsson, Watkins all feel like a voice despite being on the table. João Pedro, I'd say he's don't buy, don't sell territory. Again, like Enzo, you keep him for the Burnley game and then perhaps you sell in Game Week 13 before they play Arsenal. Let us know what your transfer plans are in the comments, and thanks for watching. See you soon for the next one.